Alright, so Pistons fans, in today's video, we are going to be talking about the cap situation on the Detroit Pistons. I haven't done a video on the cap in about 2 to 3 months. Since the offseason started, I've just been focusing on the signings, the trades, all of the moves that Troy Weaver made. But it's time to start talking about the cap again, and we've got some really good news in terms of the current cap situation for the Detroit Pistons after the DeAndre Jordan deal. So let's get into this. So yesterday on Instagram and all other social medias, Twitter, everything, it blew up because there were images that went out about the Pistons possibly having the most amount of money out of any team in terms of cap space for next offseason. I'm going to put the image on the screen right now. You see at number 1, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. And then in number 2, we have our Detroit Pistons at $56 million. You're number 2 behind the Memphis Grizzlies. And what's interesting about that is that it does say they were projected to be number 2, but there's a strong possibility that we could end up being number 1 because there are still moves that Troy Weaver can make. Troy Weaver is one of the most aggressive GMs I've ever seen in my lifetime. In his first offseason, he made 20 plus moves in his first year. In his second offseason, he made 10 plus moves in his second year. In his third, I feel like he's going to do the same and make a lot of big moves next offseason as well. Could he decide to waive or trade someone like Corey Joseph to free up some more cap space if he wants to sign someone next offseason? I feel like that's a strong possibility. Could he trade someone like Kelly Olynyk after this upcoming season? He did the same thing to Mason Plumlee. He signed Mason Plumlee to a 3-year deal, traded him after the first year. I can see the same thing happening with Kelly Olynyk. Have Kelly Olynyk play the entire season and then trading him after this year to free up more cap space. So a lot of people will ask, who could we get with the money in the 2022 free agency? And I'm going to list you guys a couple of key notable guys who I took note of. These are guys who may be restricted free agents. Some of them are unrestricted free agents, but we will have the money to sign these type of guys if we would want them. So the first guy, Russell Westbrook. I wouldn't want the Pistons to sign Russell Westbrook at all, but just to throw it out there, to put the idea in your heads, the Russell Westbrook type, we have that type of money now. We have the type of money where we could sign a Russell Westbrook. James Harden and Kyrie Irving, their contracts will be up after this season, and we will have the opportunity to sign someone like Kyrie Irving or James Harden. Again, I doubt that they want to come to Detroit. I doubt that we try to sign them, but still, I just want to put it in your guys' heads and minds that we have the ability to sign these type of guys because we have that type of money. $56 million in the 2022 free agency projected, and we have the ability to get more money freed up with possible trades with the aggression of Troy Weaver. Another guy who I took note of was Kevin Huerter. He is going to be on a restricted free agent contract, so we would probably have to overpay if we wanted to sign someone like him. But Kevin Huerter from the Atlanta Hawks, he's their running mate to Trae Young. He's the shooting guard for him. I really do like Kevin Huerter as a shooter, as a ball handler. If we decide not to bring back Josh Jackson, bringing in someone like Kevin Huerter to develop and grow with the rest of our young guys will be interesting, but we will have to overpay for him because he's a restricted free agent. Josh Richardson, interesting one as well. Josh Richardson is a role player. He's someone who you have to pay a decent amount of money to, but he would come to the Pistons. He would give a solid production, solid defender, really good three-point shooter. He's known as a 3-and-D type of player. So coming to the Pistons, he's another guy who would just fit the role, fit the mold, the type of guys that Troy Weaver wants on this team. You look at someone like Isaiah Livers, who we just drafted. That type of mold is the type of guys that Troy Weaver wants. You think of Sadiq Bey from last year's draft. Troy Weaver wants guys who can come here, who can play defense and score the ball at the same time and knock down three-point shots. Josh Richardson is someone who can play defense and knock down three-point shots. So again, that's just a guy who we could sign, on decent amount of money, sign him to like a 2-year deal, possibly a team option on that, I don't know, and bring him here to the squad. If we ended up signing someone like Josh Richardson, I will be happy and pleased with that type of signing. And then also the possibility of still getting other talented players who could even be better than Josh Richardson is just very appealing to me. And then the last person that I wanted to mention was Zach LaVine. Now, Zach LaVine, what's interesting about him is that he's on the Chicago Bulls right now. And this season for the Chicago Bulls will be a main point in Zach LaVine's decision when it comes to this offseason. If the Bulls don't make the playoffs, he's gone. He's out of there. He's going to another team. But if they do make the playoffs, I do envision someone like Zach LaVine re-signing with the Chicago Bulls, adding DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso. I could envision him staying with the Bulls if they make the playoffs. But if they don't make the playoffs, I could easily see him leaving in the offseason and going to a different team. Now, will he come to the Pistons? The only way how I would see him coming to the Pistons is if he was really money hungry and he wanted a bag, and then we will offer him that bag because we have the money to. That's the only real situation that I would see him coming here, but I doubt that. I think that Zach LaVine, you know, moving into his prime, he probably wants to go to a winning, contending championship type of team, because you look at the teams that he's been on the Chicago Bulls and he was on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Those are teams that haven't been competing for championships in a very long time, and he most likely wants to win right now. So this free agency, if he did decide not to re-sign with the Chicago Bulls, I doubt that he will want to come to a team like the Pistons, who are kind of in a retool, rebuild mode, trying to get back to that success level. I think he would rather go to a team who has championship aspirations. So those were all the guys for the 2022 free agency. Now there are also some guys in 2023 who we could go after as well. And what I mean by that is, let's say Troy Weaver doesn't want to spend too much money in this free agency, wants to stay chill, wants to lay back, you know, doesn't want to overpay anybody. He can wait to the 2023 free agency, because there are a lot of guys in there as well who are very talented and we could throw a bag at. First guy that comes to mind is Zion Williamson. He is available in the 2023 free agency. Now again, I'm not saying that we're going to sign him similar to the Kyrie Irving, James Harden. I'm not saying that we're going to sign someone like Zion Williamson, but we would have the opportunity to offer him a bag. He is going to be a restricted free agent, but with the $56 million it will have available, we will be able to offer a bag to someone like him. Kristaps Porzingis, I know a lot of people don't like him because of the recent transactions with the Dallas Mavericks, but Kristaps Porzingis will be available. And then quickly mentioning the last two guys who I took note of, D'Angelo Russell and Nikola Jokic. Those are two guys who will also be available in the 2023 free agency. So to wrap this video up, man, I just want to say Troy Weaver, the money man, thank him, man, for getting us in this position where we have currently the second projected odds of having the most amount of cap space and free agency, the second most amount of cap space and free agency, with the possibility of moving up to number one. I'm happy and pleased with that from Troy Weaver. The amount of options that we have right now is very, very good and it's looking positive. So Pistons fans, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Thank y'all for 3K. Make sure you guys go subscribe to my backup channel, Joe Polo 10 Backup. Just hit 100 subscribers over there. Thank you guys for that, and I'm out.